Hi everyone. I'll just get your attention please. Hi everyone. Hi, it's so great to see such a nice full lecture theatre. It's wonderful. I was mentioning to a few people as I was walking up and down earlier how it is so nice to see people on campus and filling up our teaching spaces. So we'll get started. It's a few minutes past 11:30 now, and thank you for doing such a remarkable job of getting into the building. Thank you to all our mentors and Dr. Helen Harrison for chaperoning you and helping you get into the building, and thank you again for your patience. So this is our Bachelor of Medical Science orientation session, and I want to officially welcome you to Flinders, and thank you very much for coming to the start of your medical science degree. I extend this welcome to all of our online students as well, and there's students who are interstate and there are students who are internationally located who can't be with us here on campus, so welcome. It's great to have you all with us. Welcome also to members of our academic team who have joined us for this session as well, and also to our peer mentors who are seated in the front few rows here, and you'll get to meet them later at our lunch session as well, and they're here to support you. So just to introduce myself, my name is Vula Gaganis and I'm the course coordinator for the Bachelor of Medical Science degree. So looking out into the lecture theatre, as I mentioned, it's really great to be here with you. There are lots of very happy faces, people are very excited to be here, and we're excited to be here with you. This is a very exciting journey. And I wanted to start just by saying something that I feel is quite inspirational about the degree. It's a wonderful and very important degree that you've chosen to start here at Flinders. So medical science really has never been more visible in our lives than over the last year, and we all know that just in what we've experienced in our lives. We've seen medical scientists work together locally and globally in this incredible race to get a vaccine for COVID. And not only that, we've seen medical scientists in the diagnostic labs, we've seen medical scientists in the research labs, and we've seen medical scientists advising government. So we've never seen medical science more visible than we have today. So we hope that in a few years' time, when you have your medical science degree, you'll be equipped with the critical skills and desire for knowledge to face the challenges that we're going to have tomorrow. So this course will provide you not only with a great university experience and a set of expertise, but will put you on a great trajectory to care for our local and global community and to make a difference. Okay, so welcome once again. I take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands that we're on today, the Kaurna people, and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge the deep cultural and spiritual significance with which they hold their traditional custodianship. So I'd like to mention at this point that Flinders actually has a very large footprint. You may or may not be aware. It involves both rural South Australia and goes all the way up into the Territory as well. And that means a lot of traditional custodians across those lands, and I acknowledge those in this session here today. So just by way of the agenda and what my plan is for today's orientation session, I'm going to introduce you to the Bachelor of Medical Science degree. I'll start with some general information about uni life, just to introduce you to some things you may not be aware, including some acronyms and things that we'll use quite often, and just to introduce you to what they are. And then I'll move on to some more specific information about the degree, and we'll have a look at what a study plan looks like and what types of topics you'll be doing over the 3 years. Now, you don't need to take notes or feel like you're going to miss out if it feels like an overload of information. Unfortunately, that is something that O Week is about, is you do tend to get a ton of information all at once. I'm going to upload these notes and you'll have this recording as a reference on the Bachelor of Medical Science course flow site. Okay, so you'll be able to access this after today's session. So after I go through some information with you, we've got our first year coordinator, Dr. Helen Harrison, who I'll introduce you to later, although I dare say you probably met her on the way in. And she'll let you know what the role of a first year coordinator is, and also let you know about the peer mentoring program, which we're very proud of. So we'll move then downstairs. We're currently part on level 5 and part on level 4, but we will move into the level 4 seminar area. We'll have some lunch. We've got some pizzas arriving for us a bit later on. We've organised to seat you with your mentors and we'll have some presentations over the lunch session from some societies that are particularly relevant for your degree, including important information about support and professional development services that we have here at Flinders. Now, if you've got any questions for me or for Helen or for your mentors, there will be an opportunity to chat to us afterwards at that lunchtime session, and hopefully there'll be other members of our academic team there for you to meet as well. So let's get some basic essentials started. So hopefully you'll all be aware that you need a student ID card. And I think this year more than ever, people really do know that they need a student ID card on day one. It's especially important because, as you will have found out, you need it to access the Flinders Medical Centre. Now, if you haven't got one yet, that's okay too. There is time to do all of these things. You can get one by requesting it through Okta, and you basically just click on Order My ID card, okay? If you don't even know what Okta is and you need help just getting started, we've got excellent support services here at Flinders, and for this particular item, for getting a student ID card, Flinders Connect up at the main campus can actually help you. And they're generally a great way to find out information about anything you need. Whatever you need, you can head up to main campus and ask Flinders Connect. Now, the next thing that I'll bring your attention to are your topics. And by now you should have looked at how to enrol in your topics for this first year. Hands up who's already done that. Wow, so what I'm looking at is a sea of hands. That's excellent. Well done. You're off to a great start already. And so what you will have done is accessed Flow, and Flow is our learning management system, and that stands for Flinders Learning Online. To access Flow, if you haven't done so already, you'll need your FAN. That's one of those acronyms I was referring to earlier. Your Flinders authentication number. It's usually going to be the last, the first 4 letters of your surname. And then letters of your birthday as well. So you'll need your FAN and you'll need to generate a password to get in. Now again, if you haven't done any of this, you can contact the Enrolment Support Centre and they can help you with those enrolments. Textbooks. I've already been asked quite a few questions about textbooks and which ones should we buy and what do I need? And the answer to that is that the information that you're going to need for textbooks will be very different from topic to topic. And so the information for texts will be on the individual Flow site for those topics. The topic coordinator will actually make it clear to you whether it's a required text or a recommended text. And if we actually require you to have a textbook, we'll make sure that there'll be a paper or an electronic copy for you to access or loan. And you can either do that as a short-term loan or a long-term loan. Okay, so now, if you're not entirely sure about textbooks at all at this stage, that's perfectly normal and fine. My advice is to hold off until you've had a chat with each of your topic coordinators to find out whether you even need one or not, or whether there's an electronic copy that you can access. The other thing that I encourage you to do is actually chat to your mentors. These guys have been through what you're going through this year, and they'll know whether there's a second-hand copy or whether they recommend, you purchase one through a second-hand text or something like that. So you can always ask your peer mentors for that kind of support. Now, car parking is our next one of those basic things to know at Flinders. Now, hopefully you'll be aware that if you're parking your car or your motorbike here at Bedford Park or Sturt campus, it's free for the entire duration of O Week. So you don't need to worry about buying any permits or anything for the moment. Otherwise, the parking is paid through the semester, and if you want to purchase a semester or a yearly permit, and we call them V permits or virtual permits, then you can do that through the Flinders Parking website. And there's also a link on Okta called V Permit that you can click on and you can order a permit that way as well. You may or may not know that parking's actually quite expensive, so you might want to rethink it and consider alternatives to getting yourselves to campus. If you're a bike rider and you've got a bike and you want to ride that in, we've got bike lockers to keep your bike secure. And we've also got more options now for public transport. We've obviously got the bus network, which will take you straight up to the main campus, but we're also really excited to see the train system, the brand new train that's actually been installed just outside Flinders Private, next to the Oval. And they've got a lot of services that run here to the Bedford Park campus. But generally speaking, no matter which way you're actually getting here to Flinders, or whatever your mode of transportation might be, my advice is try and give yourself as much time as you can to get here. The first few weeks can get really, really busy, and it can take quite some time to find a car park if you're driving in. So instead of stressing and driving around trying to find a car park or navigating the public transport system and working out which routes you need to take to get here, give yourself plenty of time to work all those things out. Give yourself a bit of wiggle room to discover any of those potential time traps along the way so that you can actually get to your sessions on time without any trouble. Now, if you're needing to get from one campus to another, and so Flinders is actually based on a really large site, and we've got what we call the main campus, which is up at the student hub, and it's that beautiful building, the grass and the large outdoor screen, which we sometimes have beanbags out on the lawn. That's what we call the main campus. Here is our Flinders Medical Centre campus. Is where our College of Medicine and Public Health, is located within the Medical Centre. We've also got Sturt campus, which is a bit further down near Sturt Road. We've got Tonsley campus as well. So if you're finding that your classes are at varied campuses, we've got a loop bus. And the loop bus is actually designed to take you to those different sites so that if you have a look at your timetable and you know where your sessions are booked for, then you can plan how you're going to get there. We shouldn't overlook walking. Walking is really good for you, and we can do that between campuses as well. It's actually a very beautiful campus that we're on, and if you take the opportunity and the time to just walk up to main campus, you'll notice that we've got a gorgeous view over the ocean and over the city. And you may like to actually walk through the forest area there too. It's just stunning. So yeah, just take your time to work out what best works for you and what options are actually going to work with your timetable. There's an app that you can download, but I'll leave that to you to have a look at. So next we've got scholarships. There's a wide range of scholarships that are available to students just like you who are starting out. And you don't need to be a top performing student or anything like that. It is based on both academic ability and need. So there are lots of scholarships, and you can visit the scholarships page to find out what's on offer. Now, one of the last basics is our Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is what you'll use when you're on campus. Our network is actually called EduRoam, and you'll use your FAN, your Flinders authentication number, and your password to gain access to the network. We've got someone from our IT group who's going to join us in the Level 4 seminar area a bit later on to help you connect to EduRoam. When we are located here at the Flinders Medical Centre, it can be a little bit challenging. You shouldn't have any troubles at all when you're up at main campus or our other campuses, but particularly here at Flinders, we do sometimes have trouble connecting. So our IT person, you can go up to them and you can ask them to set up your device, your tablet, laptop, your phone, so that you can actually use our EduRoam network. Okay? All right, moving on. In terms of getting prepared, we've got campus tours, and during O Week, it's a very special time for all of our students, and we've got our student ambassadors out, and they are helping us with our campus tours. This is up at the plaza, up at main campus, and they leave every hour between 10 and 3. So make your way up there and have a look what's available and see if you can go on one of those campus tours. We also have a welcome hub, and that's where you can meet a lot of staff and our ambassadors as well. And there's things to talk to them about. We've got special days and times at the hub. We've also got a welcome hub at the Sturt precinct and one here at Flinders Medical Centre. So if you happen to be here tomorrow, Thursday on the 25th, between 10 and 3, we're going to have a welcome hub here, and you're welcome to come and have a chat to the staff and the student ambassadors at that time. Okay, an important thing that I really want to emphasise is that help is always available, and it really doesn't matter what it's for. Whether you need academic support or personal support, help with a study plan or with your finances, no matter what it is, we can help. So one of the strengths, the great strength of Flinders University is that we actually have a really good support network. We're here to support you, support all of our students in their transition to university life, no matter what background you're coming from, whether it's from high school, whether it's a foundations program, whether it's a working life that you've come from, we can help you transition. And there's always somebody to help, and if that person can't help, then we can direct you to someone who can help as well. Okay, so I want to emphasise that strongly. Now, making the most of orientation. Okay, as you know, this is O Week, and so there's lots and lots of things to do in O Week. Orientation is actually running for the first 4 weeks, and you'll see here that we've got a lot of things planned. So take some time to have a look at the orientation webpage and make your own personalised calendar events that you're interested in, okay? For those who are transitioning from high school, you'll realise that you've got freedom of choice. You get to choose what you're interested in and you get to go and attend those events, okay? We're not necessarily going to tell you what to go to. There's so many different things that you can do, both academically and socially in O Week. So take the time, have a look and see the lots of different things that you can choose from and make your own calendar. What I want to mention here is that the more types of things that you do, academic or social and a mix of both, and all the things that you do to engage with the university, it really does enrich your experience here at Flinders, not only in first year, but beyond that as well in future years too. So in terms of orientation, still on that, as part of our orientation program, we have a video library. So it will help you navigate some of those things that are essential for uni life. So while I might have mentioned them and talked to you about them, not everyone's an audio learner. Some people like to actually see things happen, and these videos are really helpful. I really love watching videos that help me learn. So there's videos that help you learn how to use flow, how to understand your textbooks and readings for your topics, understand your assignments and grades, because we might use a system that is different to what you're used to, tips for studying successfully and how you might approach that, any support that you might need here at Flinders, and managing your wellbeing, which is first and foremost one of the things that we have great support for. And so there's information available through the orientation website for you. In terms of mentoring programs, the uni's got 3. They're the uni-wide mentoring programs. We have the O-Guide program that is available for all new students, and whether you're on campus or for the students who are joining us interstate and internationally, if you're online, we have this O-Guide program available for you. We also have an e-mentor program for all our new students who are studying offshore outside Australia, and the Uni Access Mentor program too. So if any of those interest you and you'd like to look into those, please take a look at the Flinders mentoring program online. And we're also very excited that we have our own College of Medicine and Public Health Bachelor of Medical Science peer mentoring program, which has had great success over the last few years. And it's an extra program that is exclusive for our students. And you'll automatically be signed up for this program, and Dr. Harrison will talk to you a little bit more about that later. So I'm going to change format now, and that's enough of the basics about university life, and you can access that information later to have a bit more of a thorough look through it. But now I'll go through some more specific information about your degree in terms of what it looks like, what services and supports we have available specifically for you. Now, as I've mentioned, there is a bit of information here, but you can have a look at that a bit later on. Now, a lot of your topics will actually be run from here, from Flinders Medical Centre, and you'll need your ID card to access the building, just as you did today. The important places to know, I guess, are our teaching spaces, and that includes our lecture theatres, and this one here is called Lecture Theatre 3. We also have Lecture Theatre 2, which is just next door. It's slightly smaller. This one here is our biggest lecture theatre. And we have Lecture Theatre 1, that's just around the corner, and that's a smaller one as well. And a little bit later when we have our pizza lunch, you'll get to see where the level 4 seminar area is, and we do a lot of open group learning in those spaces, especially in first year, to build peer support and encourage peer interactions. So we'll go down there and show you that a bit later. You might also notice that some of your teaching sessions are located slightly up the hill in our Health Sciences Lecture Theatre complex, and you'll access that through the tunnel and just up the hill a little bit. You'll also have biology and chemistry topics, and they are way further up the hill, so please allow a lot more time to get up there. It's near the lake, and dare I say you may need to pack your lunch. But make sure that you leave time to get from one place to the other, okay? We've also got here at Flinders a wonderful medical library, which is specific with the texts and resources that you need for a medical or medical science degree or anything that's related to medicine. And so your mentors will actually take you through a tour of the hospital and locate those very important spaces for you, including the student common room. Okay, some general advice is that university is about independent learning, so you will learn at your own pace and you will learn, I guess, according to how you want to. We're not going to direct you on how to learn, and part of that's a bit of discovery too. You'll try something and it won't work. Then you have a chat to your friends and maybe your peer mentors and your topic coordinator, and you might change that until you find what works best for you. But generally, in terms of expectations, next week is when your topic coordinators will deliver an introductory lecture to you, and that will have a few purposes. One is to introduce you to their topic and what it's about. The next one, it'll explain some logistics, like how they're going to run it. Is it a TBL session? Is it lecture recordings? Like, how are they actually planning to do the session? The topic lecturer will tell you how your topic's going to be assessed, and what the expectations are of you through the topic. So in general, it's up to you to manage your time, it's up to you to manage those expectations, and importantly, it's up to you to manage those assessments. So the tip is to stay organised as best you can, start assignments early, and please don't leave them until the last minute. If you are struggling, and it can seem very overwhelming if you're starting out in first semester, you might find that some assessments are due all at once and you really don't know how to handle that. Seek support. Talk to your mentors and ask them, how did you manage with this last year? I've literally got 3 assignments due at once, or I don't know how to approach this. What do I do first? You know, so that I can be efficient with my time. And if you're a little bit further down the track than that and you are really overwhelmed, please come and see us. We are here for you. We are here for you to seek our support. And we like talking anyway. We chat a lot to students anywhere we are. So please come and see us. We're not scary and intimidating or anything like that. So come and see your topic coordinator, your year level coordinator, and failing that, you can come and see me as your course coordinator as well, but I'll go through those contacts a bit later. Okay, now flow, Flinders Learning Online. By the show of all the hands earlier, you guys are already well ahead of the curve and you've done your enrolment, so you'll know what flow is about. If you don't though, you need to log in using your FAN, as I've mentioned a couple times. Now the topics that are available to you will be your Enroll Topics, so the topics that you've enrolled in, and of course the Bachelor of Medicine, Medical Science flow site. So this presentation and a lot of other key information about the course will be posted there, and you'll see that as one of the topics that comes up that's available to you. You'll find all the information that your topic coordinator wants to communicate to you through that topic flow site, and so it's your responsibility to stay on top of that. It would be dangerous to never go to that flow site and ignore it. You must go to that flow site and check what's on there. You'll find your lecture recordings, you'll find discussion groups, you'll find where to submit your assessments, you'll find where to find your grades, all of those things are on there. So please don't avoid it, you must get onto flow. Now the other new thing that we've got here in the college is that we've got topic representatives for each one of the topics. So you'll be able to nominate to be a topic rep through each one of your topics on those flow sites. So if you are interested in that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later, you should talk to your topic coordinator. Now the other very official thing that we have are statements of assessment methods, or a SAM, and every topic will have its own unique SAM. Okay, they're usually available through the flow site for the topic. We may not have it ready to go at the beginning of the semester, but it will be there shortly thereafter, okay? So don't panic if you don't see it immediately. It's normally about 2 to 3 pages long, and it actually contains really important information about the topic assessment. It'll contain information about your learning outcomes, and what that means, those are the things that you should be able to do by the end of the topic, so you'll find that out. What the expected workload is for that topic, and for one topic, which is usually equivalent to 4.5 units, it's about 135 hours of study per topic per semester. It'll tell you your attendance requirements, whether you need to go to any compulsory sessions, and for some topics that might be the case. And it'll also tell you how the assessment will be determined, including the date it's due and what happens if it's late. Sometimes there's penalties, and when the work is expected to be returned to you. Okay, so here we are. This is our study plan, and this is what your degree actually looks like for all of the 3 years. Okay, so this is what we call a study plan. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that we've got the years 1, 2, and 3 in one column, and the next column over, we've got the respective semesters, semester 1 and semester 2. Okay, so the way we read this is from left to right. So the blue boxes indicate what we call core topics. Those are essential. You must do those to successfully complete your degree. And the other boxes show you elective topics, which you'll have 1 in first year, and option topics, which are all the other ones. Now, in first year, we've designed the year to give you a really good foundation for medical science. So we've basically chosen most of the topics for you, bar a few. You actually get to make a couple of choices, and I'll go through that in a minute. But you'll notice that the amount of choice actually opens up in second year and even further in third year to allow room for you to pick areas that you're interested in. So for you, the relevant information for you now is that you need to make a couple of decisions, okay? And that's what chemistry you want to take. So this chemistry here. So it's either going to be general chemistry or chemical structure and bonding. So you might choose general chemistry, for example, if you haven't done chemistry at all in Year 12 and it's pitched at that correct level. But if you have done chemistry in Year 12 and you feel comfortable with it and you like it, then you might want to choose the other one, the structure and bonding chemistry. Now, other than that, you should know what all of your semester 1 topics are for first year, okay? But you will have a couple of other choices to make. And that's for semester 2, which is 1 option topic and an elective topic. So this is taken off of our Bachelor of Medical Science course rules webpage, and you can access this. It's open for you and for you to use. And on the left, we've got what our core Year 1 topics are, and they're the topics that you must take. And then on the right, we've got a list of option topics, and those are the topics that you can choose from for where in your study plan it says an option. So the prefixes from those give away what part of the topic is. So Med topic is delivered from our College of Medicine, and the example on our list here is Med1007 Histology, okay, which is a great topic if you like to understand what human tissues are made of, and looking under a microscope at the structural level of those tissues. There's nutrition topics, there's also a statistics topic, physics topic, so you can take a look at those for your option topic in semester 2. Now the other one, you've also got an elective topic. The elective topic for first year can actually be chosen from anywhere along the university, so university-wide. If you want to and you really like another option topic, you can absolutely choose that. So you can choose an option topic as your elective. But if you want to do something different, if you want to do, for example, a language, or if you want to do a business topic, or something from another college that really interests you, a nutrition topic, you've got the freedom to choose in this space. A couple of suggestions though, if you haven't done maths beyond Year 11, there is an academic numeracy topic which I'd recommend, and in that topic there's I think about 8 modules, and you can choose modules which will suit you, and the ones that we recommend are the ones that I've got on the screen there. And now another suggestion for your elective topic is this psychology topic here, which is called the Psychology of Surviving and Thriving. We've had great responses from students with this one here. because it has excellent resources and strategies, not only for university life, but just generally, just for life, full stop. So if you want to take that topic, that one there is available for you to use as your elective. Now, in second year, you've got 4 core topics, and you have some decisions to make there too, and those decisions are about what option topics you take. And the option topics are again found on the Bachelor of Medical Science course rule webpage that you can access. And there's lots of choice here across various disciplines, and it depends really on what you're interested in. And so there's genetics, there's microbiology, immunology, virology, lots of different areas that you can select to study in year 2. Now, year 2 is actually a very important year to choose wisely, because there might be prerequisites for a year 3 topic that you need to cover in year 2. So you want to make sure that you start thinking about year 3 so that you can plan your way ahead appropriately, and you don't get to year 3 and you can't do a topic that you really want to do because you haven't done the year 2 prerequisite, okay? Now, year 3 looks like this. What you'll see is that there's only one core topic, and that's our Skills for Medical Scientists 3 topic. And there's lots and lots of room for choice here with 7 option topics to select. Now, the way you choose, this is much later for you, obviously you don't need to do that this year, is to start thinking about it in second year, making sure you get your prereqs all lined up, and you can actually talk to people and see, how they've found those different disciplines. Or you might have a real burning desire to study topics that might be in biochemistry or, microbiology or physiology, for example. So you might want to have a look at those as you start heading into your second year. Your reference for those might be your year level coordinator, it might be your peer mentors, it might be friends you've made along the way, but you can consult lots of different areas to find out about these. You might want to even consult the Careers and Employability Service to find out, if I do these topics, what kind of job might I get at the end of that? What are my graduate opportunities? And you might want to think about it from that perspective. But I encourage you to book a time with your year level coordinator to actually get some study plan advice if you're not sure, so that you can know the way ahead for what your degree looks like. I also want to highlight that there are research opportunities here in our college, and these come up throughout the 3 years, and I encourage you to take these up if you've got an interest in research. There are summer research awards that you can apply for, so keep an eye out for those. We'll put those on the Bachelor of Medical Science course site when they are available. And in third year, I'd like to highlight that you can actually do a lab placement, and that's MDSC 3102. That's our code for that topic. It's worth 9 units, and so it's like a double topic. And so in that topic, you'll develop your own mini project in a real research lab, in a lab that actually interests you. So from one of those areas that you've had before. So the advice is that nearly all lecturers will actually take research students on and lab placement students. So if you like a topic that you're doing at the moment or in the future, virology or genetics or physiology, then you can feel comfortable to ask your topic lecturer whether they're taking students on for that lab placement. So you can continue that discovery and see the topic and the discipline in another light from a researcher's perspective. Now, moving on, there are some pathway options for our degree. Now, after you complete the Bachelor of Medical Science, you can choose to continue into a research pathway, so do an honours or a PhD. There is also an exclusive subquota for Bachelor of Medical Science students into the MD program, and that's our postgraduate medical program that we have here at Flinders in our College of Medicine and Public Health. We also have a few other postgraduate master's degrees that you might be interested in as well. Now, I do need to mention at this point here that there is one pathway option if you are interested in transferring to optometry. And that's important to mention today because there are some very specific topics that you need to choose in first year. So if you want to do optometry, then you'll need to choose these 2 topics here, Health 1003 and Phys 1702. And you'll obviously need to have a GPA minimum by the end of the year, and there is an interview as well. But they do take a number of our students into that into optometry at that point. So that's only if you are interested in the optometry pathway. Now, there are opportunities for professional development in the Bachelor of Medical Science, and I'll just raise some of those opportunities here. An example is in our facilitators program, and you can be a facilitator in the Skills for Medical Scientists 1 topic, and these are paid opportunities. And so when you become a second year, you might like to facilitate first years in that topic, and you'll find those registrations available on the Bachelor of Medical Science Flow site. You can also register to be one of our peer mentors, like one of the students who's sitting here in the front row, and be a mentor for an incoming student next year, okay, and be a person who can actually offer support and guidance for incoming students. Now, importantly, those opportunities, the facilitating program and the peer mentoring program, they actually give you Horizon Award points, and we'll have somebody from Horizon Award talk to you during the lunch break so that you can find out about how to do that. There are also some career opportunities from time to time for our students, and I'll post those on the Flow site for you to have a look at as well. Now, if you have any questions about your year level, I've mentioned that we have year level coordinators. And so these are the main people for our degree, okay? So for year 1, your coordinator is Dr. Helen Harrison. I'm your year 2 coordinator, and Dr. Christine Barry is your year 3 coordinator. And so each one of these academic staff are responsible for helping you with your topic selection, helping you if you encounter any personal academic difficulties along the way. Feel free to book an appointment and just go and see them. And they can help you with information on access plans or elite athlete plans or anything like that. And if you're not sure what they're about, you can ask them about that too. Now, their contact details will be on the Bachelor of Medical Science Flow page, so you can contact them directly. Now, if you've got any questions at all about your course as a whole, then you can absolutely come to me. Or if your year level coordinator can't help you, they might be on leave, or they might not have an appointment that's soon enough for you, or for whatever reason, you can always come to me, okay? So I can then help and direct you to what you need to do. So what can I do? I can help with any difficulties that you're having. I can help with degree transfers. I can help with career choices. So feel free to contact me, but I'm also free to say hi, and I do that quite often when I bump into people and students along the way. However, your topic coordinator should be someone you talk to regularly. Okay, they're your first port of call with your specific topics. So if you've got a question about a biology topic, there wouldn't be any use coming to me to ask about that unless it's something at a course level or your year level coordinator. You ask your topic coordinator first. And if you can't resolve the issue or the concern, then you can escalate that up to your year coordinator after that. Now, I mentioned topic reps, and that's absolutely new for our college. This is a really new initiative that we're starting, and it's a good leadership opportunity for you to enter in at the topic level and be a voice for the student cohort in your topic. So if you're doing 4 topics in first semester, then there'll be 4 different opportunities to become a topic rep. So they also attract Horizon Award points too, so have a chat with your topic coordinator about that when the start of semester comes around. We have a student learning support service which is there for you to support academic items. So if you need help with academic writing, with statistics, with how to paraphrase or how to write paragraphs, or what does an essay really mean, or can someone just help proofread what the work that I've done, they can help. Okay, we have an excellent student support learning team, and I really encourage you to utilise their services. They're for everybody, not just for people who are having trouble. So I encourage you to check out their website and their services. Now, student wellbeing is something that we actually take very seriously here at Flinders, and we have excellent supports for student wellbeing. There's information available for students through the Health and Wellbeing portal that I have the website up there for. We have a counselling service which can help students with what we call access plans. And this is for students who may have a circumstance that might affect their success in the topic or their progression. So if you feel like that's a situation that you are in or that you find yourself in at some point in time, our counselling team can help. Okay, so having an access plan might mean that you know, you might get an extension on an assignment or some leniency to actually assist you progress through the topic that will be very tailored to what your needs are. Oasis is also a fantastic resource. It's a centre that has multiple programs and events, and they're all based around health, fitness, wellbeing, spirituality. They do yoga and mindfulness and all of that type of thing. So get connected in there. And there's lots of things beyond just your education, but for your own wellbeing in your own lives too. We're getting to the end of my presentation here, so hang on. We have career support and development through a Career Hub portal, and I'll just raise your awareness to these things at the moment. You can always come back to these slides and check out those links. If you think about it later down the track, you'll be like, Fuller did mention something about that, and I think that I forgot it now, but I'm going to go back to those slides and see what that link was. So you don't need to think too much about that at the moment, but we have career support that you can link into. We also have assistance by way of financial aid, support or advice through our overarching support service, which is FUSA. So if you need any help with understanding your fees or any help with actually meeting your fees and you need support or advice, there's a webpage dedicated for this, okay? So please access that if you need to. And finally, for me, FUSA, again, the overarching student association, Flinders University Student Association, is basically all about student advocacy. You'll find student clubs and you'll find events there as well. We also have our own Bachelor of Medical Science Society, which is called FUMES, Flinders University Medical Student Society, and they're going to be at our pizza lunch too, and they'll present on what they can do for you. So hopefully I've given you a snapshot of uni life, a bit of all the things that you need to know immediately and in the future. And so now I'll introduce and pass over to our first year coordinator, Dr. Helen Harrison, who also leads the peer mentoring program. Okay, that's all for me for now.
All right, I will try and talk quickly because I've been assured that the pizzas are here and I'm hungry. So as Fuller said, my name's Helen and I'm the Year 1 coordinator for this course. I'm also the coordinator of the peer mentoring program. You also possibly met me out the front trying to help usher you into the building, and I really thank you for your patience in that process. It's a little bit messy, as I said, with the COVID restrictions getting into the hospital, but we're hoping to make that a smoother process very shortly. And I'd also just like to thank the mentors in that process as well for helping get everybody in here, so that's fantastic. I'm also the topic coordinator for Med1005, which is how your body works. So many of you will be well and truly sick of me by the end of semester, and then you'll have a bit of a break of me, and then you'll get sick of me again in second year. So you'll see me around quite a lot. So I'm based on, my room number is room 5E217, so I'm on this 5th floor and I'm actually based quite close to the library, so you should be able to find me if you need me. You can contact me via email, or obviously you can give me a call as well. So if you are having any troubles with anything, particularly while you're in this first year, if you've got questions about the peer mentoring program, then please do contact me and I can hopefully resolve those for you. Okay, so in terms of my role as a Year 1 coordinator, I'm really there just to help provide you with extra information about the course if you need it. If you've got questions that can't be answered at that topic coordinator level, then obviously you can shoot them to me. I can give you advice about different topic choices that you might like to make now within your options in your elective topic in second semester, so that you can start heading in a direction that perhaps you've got an idea of now. Obviously, there's also opportunities to change that. So if you think right now in Year 1, right, by the end of this course, I'm going to specialise in physiology and neuroscience, but you start going, actually, I don't really like those topics, then we can look at how you can change course so that you can start going into the things that you are more interested in. And I can also just give you advice and guidance and where to find the right support services and all of those sorts of things if things start getting a little bit tough. Even if they're not getting tough, but you feel like you're just not working at the level you'd like to be working at, then I can obviously offer support around that as well and point you in the direction of services to help with that. Because I know a lot of students, when they first start, they don't necessarily struggle, they don't necessarily hit a challenging point, but they also just don't feel like they're getting the grades that they want. And so obviously we can help with that too. And as Vul has said, I coordinate, and I've already said as well, I coordinate the peer mentoring program, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about shortly. So Vul has already mentioned scholarships, so I don't need to do it again, but as she was pointing out, really that Student Services website, they've done a lot of work on that in the past couple of years, so we now call it the Student Portal, and it's a really good landing page to help direct you to a lot of different services that are available. So if you do click on students.flinders.edu.au, you'll see that starting page and you'll actually see headings for different things that you might need. So whether that be study support, whether that be support in terms of counselling, whether that be financial support, all of those things are really easy to access and easy for you to see. And that's essentially what's on this slide here. So this is that landing site, and you'll see with that Student Support Services directory, it's got all of those different headings. You can click on those headings to get you where you need to go. So we've really tried to streamline it, so you essentially only need to do 2 clicks to get the information you need, whereas previously it used to be about 25 clicks, or it was almost easier to go and do a Google search to get you to where you needed to go. So now we're really trying to work on getting this website a lot more navigable. That doesn't sound like a word, I assure you it actually is a word, to enable you to find the support services that you need. So in particular, if you are an elite athlete, if you compete at a very high level, we do have an elite athlete program. One of our mentors is actually enrolled in that program, so she can give you advice on that if you need. If you have a disability or if you have a mental health condition, then you can apply for an access plan, or you can get sorted in with our counselling service to help support you with that. If you're an international student, there's specialised support for international students, recognising that international students might have different challenges within their study compared to domestic students. Studiosity is a really great service where you can actually get study support and advice, and you can actually submit drafts of assignments to get them to check it for you and give you feedback on that as well. So all of those things you'll be able to find through this Student Services landing site. Finding your way at Flinders is another one of those flow topics that you would have been automatically enrolled in as a first-year student. And this is a great topic that you could work through that just kind of runs you through what university is about. So if you're not sure with all this language that we're using in terms of a lecture, a tutorial, a workshop, a practical, if you're not sure about that language, Finding Your Way at Flinders actually has information to help give you or get you up to speed on what all of this means and what some of the acronyms are that we're using and things like that as well. It also just has really useful study tips. It has useful university tips for things that you can access around the university just to help support your experience while you're here. All right, so now I'm very quickly going to talk about the peer mentoring program. And as Vola said, this is something we're really proud of to have within the Bachelor of Medical Science. It's been running for quite a number of years. We're introducing a slight change to it this year, so we'll see how that goes, and we're more than happy to receive your feedback on that. But essentially what we've found is that, and there's good research to back this, is that courses with mentoring programs have increased student success, and students have an increased student experience within those courses as a result of those mentoring programs. So the purpose of the program is to provide support to new students, obviously. We've got 14 fantastic mentors, and these mentors are either still within the Bachelor of Medical Science in their 2nd or 3rd year, or they've completed the Bachelor of Medical Science and they're now in honours. We've got one student who's in the medicine program after having completed Bachelor of Medical Science. We've got another student who's in the vision science optometry pathway. So there's a few different mentors with different specialties, but they have been where you are right now recently. So they were first years not all that long ago and have felt the same way that you do now, and so can offer you a lot of support in helping you get through that transition from either prior study, from doing other things from high school to actually coming into university life as well. So they can really help you through that. So they assist with that transition. They can also provide knowledge of different support services around the place. And again, from a much more kind of ground level, we can kind of say we know the university offers these support services. They're more likely to say we've used them, and these are the ones that work, and these are the ones that aren't that great. They can help you understand some of the policies and procedures that are around the place that you need to abide by while you're completing your work. They can share academic survival tips and help you build self-confidence and social networks as well. So the mentor group's really a two-pronged approach. You get the advice and wisdom of your mentor, but you also get a ready-made group of peers who could either be a study group or who potentially could also be a friendship group. So it's a nice way to help kind of build friendships, build people that you can contact within the course to get advice from as well. So it works quite well. Now, the reason our mentors are so good at being able to do this is because they actually understand what life is like as a first-year student. So they understand the lifestyle, the expectations. They understand what it's like to try and balance work and study and life as well, and particularly in the current climate, what that might actually be like, what the expectations are. They can help you with resource management and with all the different acronyms and things. So what does flow mean? What do we mean when we say BMS? How does my email work? How do the student systems work? They can help you with student etiquette. If you're not quite sure what do first year students do, what do they like, they can point you in the direction of that. And as I said, they have this knowledge because they've been where you are right now, much more recently than I was ever where you are right now. So you can essentially learn from their mistakes. They can tell you about all the things that went wrong for them and make sure that you don't copy that and don't fall down the same holes that they did. And they can share their successes with you again so that you can build from that. So in terms of how you actually get involved, the big change that we've done this year is we used to have an opt-in program. So we would ask students to register into a mentor group. This year I've placed you in mentor groups, and you'll get some more information about that over the next couple of days, but essentially your name tag that you've got has a number on it, and that's your mentor group. So what will happen is when we move downstairs to the level 4 seminar area, I'll ask you to sit at the numbered table and you'll meet your mentor. Some of the mentors actually aren't here today, but you'll at least meet your group and you can get to know them, and then we'll give you information on when your meetings are and where to meet. Now, the problem with this kind of way of doing it is that I've had to allocate you into groups, and there's a time associated with that that might actually clash with other things that you've got on. That's completely understandable. If you do have a clash, then we can look at trying to find you a group that suits your timetable. So I apologise if you go, I've got a workshop on at this exact time that my mentoring group is, but we can change you into a group that does suit. Now, I have placed you based on your home addresses. So I had a massive spreadsheet looking at locations of where people are, based on your suburbs essentially, and I've tried to put you in similar locations. The reason for that is that's how they've done it in the Bachelor of Paramedics, and it works really well because then your network lives in a similar area to you, and you might be able to carpool together, or you might be able to form study groups where you don't necessarily have to come into uni to be able to study. You might be able to study somewhere more locally to you. So that's my thinking behind that. So I have tried to put you in those positions. So then what we encourage you to do is essentially attend meetings. So we've organised the meetings to be weekly from week 1 to 6, so they start next week, and then they're fortnightly after that mid-semester break, so after the holidays, so only in weeks 7, 9 and 11. If you really like your mentor and they're willing to, they might continue it on beyond that, or they might do it weekly after mid-semester break, but obviously they have their own timetables and commitments as well where they may not be able to do this. So I've said you can change your groups if there's timetable clashes, and you'll get an email with your mentor group in it if you can't remember from today, and the time and location of your sessions as well. So what we'll end up doing is putting this on the Bachelor of Medical Science course flow site too. It's currently, I think, hidden to you so you can't see it, but there will be a peer mentoring program tab, and there'll be a section where you can actually see your group that you're registered into, but that's where you can also register yourself in and out of groups if you need to as well, and change your mentor. And what we've asked the mentors to do is prepare a blurb of them about themselves. So if you're in a group and you're kind of like, I need to change, but I'm not sure who to change, whose group to change into, you might be able to read about that mentor and go, okay, I can see that mentor has a research background and I'm interested in going into research, so I want to move into theirs, or has a different language as their first language, and so again you might want to align yourself with that person if that suits your situation and you want advice that's a bit more specific and tailored to that. So here's our mentors for this year. As I said, some of them aren't here, but if you could just stand up, mentors, and wave when I say your name, if that's all right. Try not to trip on the TV. So Rusafa isn't here, but Sarah is here. Wave to everybody, Sarah. And Nicholas, and Anushka, Nadine, Marinelle, Miles isn't here either, Bao, Machi, Caitlin she's way up the back. There's Caitlin. Jack and Jacinta, I'm not sure is here yet either, Ella and Bridget. So as I said, they've been where you are. They can give you loads of helpful advice and they've had training to enable them to do this as well. So we're going to finish up soon and go get pizza. But what I will suggest is that when we go down to that level 4 area, as I said, there'll be numbers on the table. So look at your name tag and sit at the table that's got your number. There's actually 2 different tables that represent the same number because there's so many students. Your mentor will sit with you. Those whose mentor isn't here will try and come and have a chat with you, but you can just sit and chat in your mentor groups to get to know those students. If there's time, if there's not time and you need to leave, it's completely fine. We can try and do some tours after the lunch as well. What else do I need to say about that? I think that's essentially it. The tours are some of these places that you'll find out, essentially places that you'll be going to regularly throughout your degree. The one thing I'll draw your attention to, and Vula did mention it too, there is a student common room in the hospital that people often aren't aware of. It has a massive Medical Student Society sticker on the door, and I think that often puts undergraduates off of going in there, but you are welcome to use that space as well. So that space is for any students studying in the hospital, not just medical students. The code to get in is 9014, I hope that's the code. It was last year. But essentially it's got some couches, it's got some kitchen facilities. So if you want to make your own lunch as you're down here, then you can go there. But there's also a cafe right next to that as well, so you can buy coffee and food from there too. So I think that's all I need to say. So we can start moving down into that level 4 seminar area. What we might need to do is kind of just taper it a little bit so we're not all going at once. So what I'd suggest is maybe the first few rows go first, and then we'll go by rows if that's all right. And maybe the mentors, so the mentors have these yellow lanyards. They can start walking you down so you can see where level 4 seminar area is. Jack, I understand if you need to leave.
That's right. I was going to say,